Welcome to, I guess, the Human First podcast, but a very special episode. I have a very special guest with me here today, and we are going to be talking about something that is really, really topical right now, and I thought better bring in an expert. So I have, Neil, you might as well introduce yourself for people who don't know who you are.
For those who don't know me, I'm Neil Law. I'm the Director of Financial Planning at Murphy Wealth.
So we've got an insider today, but with everything that's going on with the budget, with all the chat, all the rumours, I guess, we thought we would get together and try and help folk out a bit and try and clear some of the noise and help them focus on really what they should be thinking about.
Our best, yeah.
Yes. So the big question is, what do we know is really changing after the budget and what's just noise?
What we do know, we know the announcements that were made in 2024.
Yeah.
Mainly around pensions and inheritance tax and changes to business relief. They are the major changes that are coming in April 26 and April 27. Everything else, noise, speculation, your guess is as good as mine, and I guess we'll find out on the 26th of the month.
Good, we'll just end it there then.
Probably as good a reason as any, yeah.
Well, maybe we should start with the things that, let's just go into those things that we know for sure. And what does that mean? I mean, you're having these conversations every day. I'm having these conversations every day with clients and people we speak to.
I think the big one, the one that's occupying most people's mind is pensions now falling liable, or from April 2027, pensions now falling liable to inheritance tax because they're going to form part of your estate. So I think people's concern is, what does this mean? Because for most of probably the last 10 years, have we viewed pensions much as an income asset, as an income producing vehicle, or have we viewed it more as a wealth transfer vehicle? So I think the most of the conversations we're having is, how does this impact my financial plan? How does this impact my future, my family's future? So what's changed? That seems to be what's on most people's mind at the moment.
And it would be fair to say that it's pretty much flipped financial plan for our clients, flipped their financial plans upside down.
I think so. To me, I see this as a sequencing thing, really. I mean, you and I both remember financial plans back before 2015, before pension freedoms was a thing, and everything was geared up to purchase annuities and things along those lines. So there was always this kind of thinking that you saved up in your pension, you turned it into an income, and that's what you spent in your retirement. Then obviously we had pension freedoms, changed everything on its head, and how people access pensions changed, their views on it, how they were going to be used. And so all of a sudden, we've gone from a position, or in 2015, we were in a position where you spent your pension and you preserved your other assets.
Yes.
So for most of the last 10 years, we've preserved the pension and spent the other assets. So now with this change, does that just flip the whole thing back on its head again? And we go back to using pensions for probably what they're always designed for, to be an income in retirement. So what impact does that now have on the other assets people have built up over their lives? And
I'm going to come on to business assets in a wee minute, because there's a kind of double whammy here for folks who have their own businesses. But I guess the big rumour, or at least it was the big rumour, I'm not sure it still is the big rumour, was the abolishment of tax-free cash. So everybody rush out and take out your 25%.
Yeah, absolutely. It's now, to be fair, pretty much every budget that I'm aware of in the last 20 years, there's been rumour and counter-rumour about tax-free cash being or
tax
or
relief,
pension commencement lump sum.
Give it a Sunday name.
Being eradicated. I think more or less this week, that seems to have been put to bed. Now, we could be proved wrong, but that seems to be briefed out now that there's going to be no changes there. The offset of that may be more relating to salary sacrifice schemes.
Yes, I did see that.
So that seems to be the trade-off between one and the other.
So maybe just touch on that for a wee second.
Yeah, what seems to be being discussed at this moment in time is obviously there's a tax saving by people waiving some of their income into their pension. There's also a national insurance saving, both for the employee and the employer. So it now looks like what they may do is put a cap on the amount of your salary you can waive into a pension without it. It would still be deemed as income that you have, even if you get into the pension. So £2,000 seems to be getting bandied about.
Right, okay.
Whether or not that comes to pass, but it definitely looks like salary sacrifice
Yes.
is going to be changes there.
Yeah. And it did, I mean, we did have a lot, probably the biggest issue that I can remember in recent memory, the people were getting quite exercised about, was the lump sum, the tax-free lump sum.
Oh, absolutely.
And the danger with things like that, and we've read all the headlines about people ripping out their pension commencement lump sums when they didn't really need to. Yeah. That can have a seriously detrimental effect on their long-term
of course it can.
outcomes.
Of course it can, because what are you going to do with it? Once you've taken it, you've taken it. So you're then taking something that's in a very, very, let's be abundantly clear, pensions are still fantastically tax efficient, probably still the most tax efficient vehicle out
Savings,
there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've taken money that's in a very, very, very tax efficient vehicle, and we have to put it somewhere. So what do you then do with it? That's going to be, so is it less advantageous to you? So it's one to be very, very careful of.
Yes, yeah. It was there was a lot of conversations, and thankfully we were able to settle people's kind of minds on that one. So just moving on then. So the pension is now going to be in the estate as of 2027.
Yep.
However, the kind of double whammy is for those who own their own businesses.
Yep.
Where previously that would have been exempt from inheritance tax, it now no longer, or won't be as of April 26.
This one's April 26, so this one's actually sooner. So we've gone from a position where, or we're moving from a position where a business owner, now assuming the business qualifies, so basically it's a trading business, it's not an investment company.
Yeah.
It can be passed down and it's completely free from inheritance tax, which was always there to preserve the integrity of businesses, to let them be passed on.
Yep.
So there was no threat to employees or anything along those lines. Now there's going to be, there is an allowance of £1 million, which combined for business and agriculture relief.
Yeah, that's right.
So each individual will have an allowance of £1 million. Then anything above that, if the business is valued more than that, there still is an element of relief, but it's 50%. So there's still a 20% potential charge on that. So
let's run that through then from a practical point of view. Sure. So say it was, let's just call it a £2 million business for ease for both of us. So where previously the family or the business or the beneficiaries the business would have passed on to the next generation without a charge.
Yes.
Now they would have to find.
Let's assume it's a sole owned by one person.
Yeah.
So they've got a £1 million allowance. The remaining £1 million would be taxed at 20%, which is 50% of the 40% IHT rate. So there's a £200,000 tax bill that's going to be there on the 6th of April 2026 that wasn't there, that isn't there on the 6th of April 5th of April 2026.
Yep.
So it's significant. It's absolutely significant. So what does that mean for that business?
Mm-hmm.
What the people who are then receiving the shares in that business, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
How are they going to fund that?
Yep.
So what does it mean for the employees of that business? So this is probably, in my opinion, one of the biggest changes. Because it affects so many other people that are downstream from this.
It's the unintended consequences, isn't it?
Indeed.
And because one of the things that we will, people aren't like desperate to spend more money on, for example, life insurance to cover these liabilities. But what they're definitely not keen on is on death, the government taking a huge, big slice of what they've worked hard for. So it's, and also ultimately leaving their beneficiaries to deal with that.
Absolutely. I think as much as the tax position, it's that part. Mm-hmm. It's like, what mess am I leaving behind here?
Yeah.
Who's going to deal with this?
And how easy is it all going to be to clear up? Because you're going to bills pretty shortly after the event.
Absolutely. And I think that's as pressing for many people as actually of course, nobody's pleased about having to pay more tax.
No.
But the inquiries that we're both seeing is people going like, who's going to be here to sort this out? Mm-hmm. My family, are they going to be left with this? This just seems like it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to engage with lawyers, accountants, you name it. That's all going to cost more and more money. So it's as much about what's happening as to how they're going to deal with it that seems to be the big challenge.
Yeah. And what about? I mean, that's all well and good when we're talking about millions of pounds here, and that's I guess a lovely problem to have. It does come with its own stresses and complications, of course. But even if you take that out of the equation for a wee second, a lot of people listening to this, I'm sure, by the time you add your house and your pension together, you now, where you didn't before, have an inheritance tax problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's 100% correct. And people are talking about this, and the perception is this is the absolute elite.
Yes,
it's the richest
1% or something.
It's the 1%,
yeah.
And it's not.
It's not.
I mean, we're speaking today in Glasgow. Average house prices here will not be quite the same as what they are in different parts of the UK. So people with very modest pensions and quite modest houses in certain parts of the UK will have to face into this, and they'll have never have thought that this was a possibility at any point in their life. No. But it's a reality now. It's here, and what impact does that have on their family, their children, and just really everything that they've done up to this point to save for the future, to give themselves a better life, to help their family down the line. Well, okay, does that plan still hold true, or does something need to change?
Yeah, or do you need to take action?
Yeah,
basically,
absolutely.
It's I guess that's pretty much most of the conversations that we're having these days.
Absolutely, and that's it. We can stamp our feet about tax. We can do whatever. But the reality is, this is happening. So the most important thing is people, and that's what we're asking people to do, is lean into this. And really go, right, okay, this is coming. We know the rules. We're getting certainly clearer on the rules. So we know from the outset what your goal was. We know what you wanted to happen.
Yeah.
That can still happen. It's just going to happen in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's what steps do you need to take along the way to make sure, because let's be honest, nobody talks to us about, is it really about mitigating tax, or is it about passing wealth to the family?
You know, these conversations, obviously, we're talking about money and pensions and tax and all that stuff, but that's not what really people care about.
No, it's not. I think people will start the conversation with, I want to talk to you about tax. I want to talk to you... and it's the same with pensions. It's the same with everything. I mean, you and I are the first to tell anybody, nobody needs a pension. There's no everybody needs an income in retirement. Nobody needs a pension. And it's exactly the same in this kind of stuff. People will start conversations talking to us about inheritance tax and various other taxes. And when we get to it, is that really what the conversation's about? Mm-hmm. Do you really want us to focus all our attention on reducing your inheritance tax bill? Or actually, do you want us to talk to you about how the wealth that you've worked damn hard through your entire career, building businesses, doing various other things, do you want to make sure your family, your children, your grandchildren benefit to whatever it may be, benefit to the full extent? Yeah. Because these two things are not necessarily the same thing.
No, that's right. Absolutely.
And I think the bit that we have to always kind of reinforce is, let's not let the tax tail wag the dog. Like, what do you actually want to achieve here? Mm-hmm. Because that's first principle here. Yeah. What do you want to achieve? The only thing that's changed is the route to how we get there is going to be different. And
I think that's probably a good message for people listening or watching, that don't get too... you can get too caught up in this, and we always talk about tuning out the noise, because that's all it is. Just remember what it is you're trying to do, right? There will always be a way to do it, and people like us can help you get there. Absolutely. That's kind of the idea.
And it's very difficult at the moment. We live in a world of 24-hour news. There's been such a long lead-in to this budget.
I know.
We always live in silly seasons where it's speculation after speculation. But this is really 3 months of it.
At least.
And you've got 24-hour news that has to be filled. Yeah. So there's an absolute onslaught of speculation and things. So it's very difficult for people at this moment in time. But fundamentally, the core principle here is, what do you want to achieve? Is the core principle you want to enjoy your own life first, first and foremost, but then make sure that your family benefit, charities benefit, whatever legacies that are important to you benefit? Well, okay, This is different now. You're not in control of them. We can stamp our feet about them, but the reality is things have changed. So what changes do you need to make that mean that the plan still achieves?
Which is what we always say. The financial plan should be built to adapt.
Of course,
right? It should be able to flex, because we know one thing is for sure, that everything's going to change. That's it's a bit of a mantra of ours, and therefore the plan should be able to do that. So yes, it's hard to ignore everything that's being said out there, but ultimately, for people we work with, they should be comforted in the knowledge that they're still going to be okay. Yeah. It's just that we will have to make some adjustments.
I read some stat the other day that I think the average budget in the last 10 years has had something like 120 different tax changes in it. 120. And that's just the average. So there's been ones that have been more than that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to say that, in the next 20 years, we're not going to average the same amount. Now, these are probably more dramatic than what a lot of these are going to be, but there's going to be change in the future. That doesn't mean we don't do anything. That means we do. Even now more than ever, you get control of your own future. You get control of your own plan.
But it is taking control, not reacting.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like we talked about with the tax-free cash thing. People are just reacting and taking that out because somebody down the pub said, or they read it in the paper or whatever. And that's a terrible idea.
Of course it is.
So don't react.
Of course it
but
is.
Adapt.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But we're all humans.
Yeah.
We're all humans, and we've all got the own fears, frailties, everything like that. So with this continual deluge of this,
it's a bit of a bombardment.
It's absolutely understandable.
Yeah.
That people are asking these questions, are saying, "Is this the right thing to do?" Well, they know in their heart of hearts, 99 times out of 100, the client asks us, they know the answer to the question
they just
already.
Want to hear it from someone else, don't they?
But yeah.
And is there anything, we could do some kind of crystal ball gazing, but maybe just, and we can come back and afterwards. First of all, I was thinking that, it's okay maybe to pause what you're doing right now, or if you're about to do something, we get that instinct to do that. Yep. That's okay in the short term.
Yep.
But once we know the new rules of the game, if you like, then that's when you need to take the action. So come November 27th, right, we've just got to get on with it. You can't wait until. We do.
And, it's very easy to say I'm not going to do something. Or it's very easy to pause something.
Yes.
When do you restart?
Yeah.
When do you re-engage?
Yeah. Wait till things are more certain.
Correct. And
when's
you look at the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. When in the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years are we expecting somebody to have said in the news, do you know what? Everything's okay again. Re-engage with the world. And who's to say the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years is going to be any different?
Yeah.
But the people who have been more pragmatic, look at the benefits they've had over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So I was going to say the people who have been bold, but I don't think they've been bold. The people who have just been sensible and went, okay, do you know what? Life's passing. Life's continuing to go.
Yeah.
I need a plan.
Yeah.
I need a plan. I need to know what's happening.
I want to be in control of it at least, not a passenger.
I need to engage in my own future. So they're the ones that are going to reap the benefits of all that.
See, just for shits and giggles, though, can we make some predictions?
Go on then.
For the budget, and then we can come back and see how wrong we were.
Okay, I'll go 2% on income tax with 2% off NI.
2% basic rate?
All bands.
Wow.
All bands.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one that seems to be a constant now.
It does.
It didn't just kind of come out and then disappear.
It does. I'm not trying to claim I'm a soothsayer in employing that one, because that one seems pretty much nailed on now.
Where did you get that from?
I did some sums earlier.
Yeah.
That looks pretty nailed on now.
And do you think they'll do anything for some relief at the bottom end of that then?
Doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it, because where would they need to go? That would need personal allowance.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, they're frozen. So it looks, and that's going to hurt pensioners.
It's massively going to hurt
because
pensioners,
they're going to pay the income tax, but won't have the offset of the national insurance. It'll private landlords who, let's be honest, have had a really tough time.
Yeah,
really, really tough time.
It's about to get tougher.
It's about to get tougher. So there's going to be people that are going to feel a bit of pain off the back of that. So that would be, I think that would be my first prediction. So it's your turn now.
Well, that wasn't a particularly bold one. I know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Given everything that we've already said, I think the income tax one seems to be a certainty. We already know what's happening with pensions. We've talked about business relief. Capital gains. I mean, the dividend tax.
It could. What we don't know is how much is needed to be raised.
Yes.
Because
apparently nobody knows.
So until we can answer that question, it's difficult to know. Dividend tax it's been
talked about a lot,
and it's also been hit a lot.
It has been. I wouldn't be a fan of that one.
No, and any business owner. I mean, we have to be careful we don't be political about this here.
No, absolutely.
But we are in a situation where the economy needs growth. We need businesses to grow. We need
and it's small businesses ultimately.
90% of people I think in the UK are employed by SMEs.
Yeah.
So we need the SME market to be booming. We need it to be growing. Well, you can't have that if you continually kick employers.
Yeah.
Now, we had the national insurance rise in the last budget. We've had various dividend tax increases.
Yep.
so where is the...
and now business relief as well.
So where is the incentive for a business owner to put your money at risk to employ other people?
That's right.
There used to be incentives to do that. There used to be tax advantages to do that. Well, if there isn't, then what are we going to do? Just take our money and go home?
I mean, like the hospitality industry, when the last time round, the national insurance changes got hammered, less people were getting employed.
Correct.
I mean, that's just, again, I go, we can put tax up, raise more money. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work that way at all. It doesn't work that way at all. Most tax rises, they'll say, are regenerative. They actually end up costing money in the long run.
Regressive, absolutely, yes.
So it'll be interesting to see where they go. I think other things that are being bandied about, extensions of freezing and allowances. So basically, fiscal drag, just drag more people into tax, drag more people into higher rate tax, drag more people into IHT. That's already, these bans have been set till 2030, and another 10,000 families a year getting dragged in.
Just dragged in. That's right.
So you could see these getting extended further. So just fiscal drag.
What about these wealth taxes or the mansion tax? I don't see it.
I would be surprised. How do you administer it?
Exactly.
How do you administer it?
Capital gains on your own property when you sell it. I mean, again, killing the property market, the actual residential non-investment property market.
Well, all that will happen is people just won't move.
Well, that's it. It'll stop. And we've seen that with stamp duty.
Yeah.
Massively.
It just won't. People won't move, and therefore it just backs up everything. So there is no stock for people to move to.
Yeah.
So all of these things get bandied about, and you've got people sitting in rooms going, "I've got a plan. If we add 2% onto that, we get this number." Okay, that sum's correct.
Yes. On a spreadsheet that works.
Yeah, but the actual impact of what you're talking about here does no good for anybody. No. So I don't know where these... I can't see it. But listen, we'll guess we'll find out.
So, and we will, I think what we'll do is we'll come back and discover just how wrong we were.
Indeed.
But what would be your closing message to anyone listening to this in the run-up now, next couple of weeks to this budget?
Tune out the noise, mainly. First and foremost, tune out the noise. Don't get involved in the speculation. Don't get involved in the he said, she said.
Don't make a knee-jerk reaction just because you heard something.
Stay in your seat. Stay calm.
Speak to your financial planner.
Sounds like a good idea. But take control. Yeah. This is your future. It's not anybody else's future. So things are going to happen to you. what are you going to do about them? You can bury your head in the sand and go, I don't like that. But the reality is, it still happened.
Yeah. And we see that, by the way.
Oh,
we
absolutely.
see that a lot. People just go, oh, if I just close my eyes, then maybe it won't happen.
Or this is too big, I can't get my head around it. I'm not going to deal with it. Lean into it.
Yeah.
The sooner people can say, right, well, listen, something that I thought my future was going to be has now changed.
Yeah.
It's now different. So that means that has to have a reaction from you.
Yes.
Well, do something.
Yeah.
Speak to a professional financial advisor, a financial planner rather, and just see, right, what impact has this had on your future?
Because it might be
nothing.
The change has. That's the other thing. Just because something has changed doesn't mean it's impacted you. So I think getting clear, understanding, right, what does this impact me? And if it does, what are we going to do about it? What are the options to make sure I still get to where I want to be?
Absolutely. It's never been a time more to take control of your own future.
Yeah.
Now, you might not be able to see what that means.
Yeah.
You might not be able to see how you do that. But there are people out there who can make that very clear for you. Our website, murphywealth.co.uk.
That's one place to go.
It's a good place to start. It's a good place to start. So don't panic, tune out the noise,
and
take control of your future. These things are never as bad as you think they're going to be.
We'll be sitting here after the budget going, well, that was a bit of a...
it'll be what it'll be. But, there's always a way.
Yeah.
There's always a way. You just need to find it.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you very much, Neil, for coming in.
That's
this very special episode. And whether you like it or not, we will be back to see how wrong or right our predictions were. And also then we can talk about, right, okay, now we know, what can we do about it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.